Let me tell you about a day I almost gave up. It was an ordinary morning. The sky was gray and the air felt heavy. I woke up before my alarm rang. I stayed in bed and stared at the ceiling. My heart felt tired, even though the day had just begun. I asked myself a question again and again. Why am I still trying? Life had been very hard for me. My plans were not working. My efforts showed no results. No matter how hard I tried, I felt like I was not moving forward. I slowly got out of bed. My body felt heavy. I walked to the bathroom and looked at myself in the mirror. I saw tired eyes. I saw a face that had lost its smile. I whispered softly, I can't do this anymore. That morning, even small things felt difficult. Making breakfast felt tiring. Getting dressed felt meaningless. My mind was full of negative thoughts. You are not good enough. You always fail. Why do you keep trying? I tried to stop these thoughts, but they stayed in my mind. They reminded me of my mistakes. They reminded me of my failures. They reminded me of dreams that felt very far away. When I went outside, everything looked normal. People were walking. Cars were moving. Life was going on. But inside me, everything felt broken. I saw people smiling and talking. I wondered how they stayed strong. I wondered how they kept going when life was difficult. I felt very alone. At that moment, giving up felt easier than continuing. Giving up felt peaceful. I thought about stopping everything. I thought about resting from trying. I sat down in a quiet place and looked at my hands. They were shaking a little. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Then I remembered something. I remembered the younger me, a version of myself who had dreams, someone who believed in the future, someone who promised never to give up. That memory made my chest feel tight. Tears filled my eyes. I realized I was standing between two choices, to give up or to continue, and that was the moment my story truly began. As I sat there, my memories started to return. I remembered all the times I tried and failed. I remembered waiting for good news that never came. I remembered giving my best but still hearing nothing. Each memory felt heavy on my heart. Failure had followed me for a long time. Every time I failed, I told myself to try again. But after failing many times, I slowly lost my confidence. I started to doubt myself. I began to believe that maybe I was not meant to succeed. People often said, be patient or everything happens for a reason. I knew they wanted to help, but their words did not remove the pain. When I was alone at night, the doubts came back. I asked myself many painful questions. What if I am wasting my time? What if my dream will never come true? These questions hurt more than failure itself. I remembered a moment when someone I trusted said, maybe this is not for you. They did not mean to hurt me, but their words stayed in my mind. They repeated in my head whenever I tried again. That day, those words felt heavier than ever. I felt tired of being strong. I felt tired of being positive. I felt tired of pretending that everything was fine. I wanted rest, not sleep, not a holiday. I wanted rest from trying so hard. I looked down and whispered, I don't think I can do this anymore. Then something unexpected happened. A small voice inside me spoke. It was quiet, but it was real. It said, you have felt this way before. I stopped and thought about it. Yes, I had felt this pain before. I had reached low moments before. And still, I was here. I remembered nights when I cried myself to sleep. I remembered days when I felt broken. But I also remembered that I survived. Failure did not destroy me. Pain did not end me. Hard days did not defeat me. They changed me. They taught me. They made me stronger. That thought did not solve my problems, but it gave me a small hope. I took a deep breath. Maybe giving up would stop the pain today, but continuing might change my future. I did not know what would happen next. I did not know if I would succeed. But I knew one thing. I had survived hard days before, and maybe I could survive this one too. After sitting there for a long time, I slowly stood up. My legs felt weak, but they did not fail me. I was still standing. I was still here. Nothing around me changed. The sky was still gray. My problems were still real. But something inside me began to change. I told myself something simple. I don't need to fix my whole life today. That thought felt lighter. I just need to take one small step. Not a big step. Not a brave step. Just a small step forward. I took a deep breath and focused on the present moment. I listened to the sounds around me. I felt the ground under my feet. I reminded myself that I was alive, right here, right now. I noticed how hard I had been on myself. I spoke to myself with anger and blame. I said things to myself that I would never say to someone I loved. So I tried something new. I spoke to myself with kindness. I said, "You are tired, and that is okay." I said, "You are trying even when it hurts." I said, "You are allowed to feel weak." At first, these words felt strange, but slowly they felt comforting. I realized something important. Strength is not always loud. Growth is not always fast. Sometimes, strength is choosing not to quit. I continued my day slowly. I did what I could. I did not rush. I did not force myself to be perfect. I just showed up. There were moments when fear returned. There were moments when my mind said, "You will fail again." This time I answered back, "Maybe I will," I said. "But I will learn." That answer gave me peace. I understood that success does not mean never failing. It means continuing even after failure. As the day went on, I noticed small things. A kind smile from a stranger. A warm drink in my hands. A quiet moment of calm. These small things reminded me that life was still happening, that I was still part of it. By the end of the day, I felt tired. But I also felt proud. Not because I had achieved something big, but because I stayed. That day became a turning point. Not because everything changed, but because I changed how I looked at my struggle. I stopped seeing myself as weak. I started seeing myself as someone who chose to continue. The days after that were still difficult. Some mornings I woke up feeling tired before the day even began. Some nights fear kept me awake. The doubts did not disappear, but they became quieter. I had made a decision. I chose not to give up. Every day I had to make that choice again. Some days the choice felt strong and confident. Other days it felt weak and unsure. But I chose it anyway. I learned something important. Strength is not a feeling. Strength is a decision. I stopped waiting to feel ready. I stopped waiting to feel brave. I moved forward even when fear was with me. I also learned to respect my limits. I rested when I needed to. I did not blame myself for feeling tired. I understood that resting was not quitting. I began to celebrate small wins. Very small wins. Getting out of bed. Trying again. Not giving up. These small wins slowly built my confidence. They reminded me that progress does not have to be big to be real. Life did not suddenly become easy. There were still hard days. There were still moments when I felt like stopping. But now, when those moments came, I remembered something. I remembered the day I chose to continue. I reminded myself that giving up would end my pain, but it would also end my chances. And I was not ready to lose those chances. I became kinder to myself. I spoke to myself with patience. I allowed myself to move at my own pace. Slow progress was still progress. With time, I noticed a change. I was not fearless, but I was stronger. I was not perfect, but I was growing. I understood that real strength is not about never falling. Real strength is about standing up one more time. And each day I chose to continue, I became a little stronger than before. Today, when I look back, I understand something very clearly. The most important day of my life was not the day I succeeded. It was the day I didn't give up. That day changed me. It showed me that I was stronger than I thought. It showed me that I could continue, even when everything felt heavy. I learned that failure does not define me. Hard days do not mean a hard life. They are only part of the journey. I also learned that it is okay to feel tired. It is okay to feel lost. These feelings do not mean you are weak. They mean you are human. On that day, I did not suddenly become confident. I did not suddenly have all the answers. But I stayed. And staying was enough. Because when you stay, you give yourself another chance. A chance to learn. A chance to grow. A chance to change. If you are listening to this story and feeling tired, I want you to know something. You do not need to be strong all the time. You do not need to move fast. You do not need to have everything figured out. You just need to stay. Even if all you can do today is breathe and try again tomorrow, that is enough. One day you will look back at this moment. You will see how far you have come. You will see that the pain did not last forever. And you will say to yourself, "That was the day I didn't give up." and that day will always matter.